When you sent those motivational videos, I gotta say, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I was really intrigued once I started watching.
It's funny how that happens, right? You
Yeah.
think it'll be the same old motivational stuff, but then, bam, something different pops up.
Yeah, exactly. And it made me think about our listeners, driven, ambitious, but analytical too.
For sure.
So we gotta break this down in a way that makes sense for them.
Absolute.
Real insights.
Definitely. Let's start with his whole strong roots thing. Like, building a solid foundation to handle anything.
It's a classic metaphor, but he really brings this energy to it, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally.
And he connects it to, well, everything, not just work, but your whole life.
And that's where resilience comes in, don't you think?
Totally.
It's that strength, that flexibility to deal with whatever comes your way. Which, let's face it, in your field, things change constantly.
All the time. But okay, here's where I think things get really interesting. He keeps saying, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see that matters.
That's the mental model stuff.
Yeah.
How we see the world, our beliefs, all that shapes what we do.
So it's like our outer world is just a reflection of what's going on inside.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do those hidden models actually work in our lives? Like, how do they affect whether we reach our goals or not?
It's all about your beliefs.
Right.
If you're in your own head telling yourself I'm not good enough or success, that's for other people,
You're going to act accordingly.
yeah, you're less likely to go for it, take risks. You think there's not enough to go around, so why bother?
Which brings us to the abundance mindset. The idea that there is enough for everyone, enough success, happiness, opportunity.
Exactly. And when you shift to that, to thinking I can, wow, it changes your whole perspective. Confidence, decisions, even the opportunities you see. It's like instead of looking at limits,
You see possibilities.
exactly, you're not focused on what you can't do. You're focused on what you can.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you actually make that shift? This entrepreneur, he's big on routines, waking up at the crack of dawn, crazy workouts, super strict diet.
Intense.
Yeah. So is that what it takes? Do we all need to become hardcore early birds to change our thinking?
Well, I think the key takeaway is the discipline, consistency, making time to grow. It's not about the exact routine.
It's the principles behind it.
Yes, what habits work for you? What helps you grow? It's got to be sustainable.
He's also a big advocate for your environment, surrounding yourself with the right people. I mean, he said spending time with him would change your world by osmosis. A bit much, maybe, even if it makes a point.
A colorful way to put it. But yeah, we are influenced by who we spend our time with, their energy, even their beliefs.
Right. We absorb it.
Totally. It's social osmosis for sure.
He even had this whole story about a student he worked with in Mexico making like 30 grand a month after following his advice.
It's one of those, look, it works
Right.
kind of things.
But even if it's anecdotal, it shows the power of mentorship, doesn't it? Having people around you who are already doing what you want to do.
Absolutely. Support, inspiration, accountability. You need that energy, that upward pull.
It makes you think, though. What about the people who hear this and are like, hold on, this is too good to be true. Like, if I just believe I'll be a millionaire, it'll magically happen. What do you say to that kind of skepticism?
Well, it's not magic, right?
Right.
It's about action too, isn't it?
It's not just about thinking the right thoughts.
He's all about taking action, massive action.
So it's more like, okay, I believe in myself, and now I'm going to go make things happen.
Yes. It's not wishing, it's doing. That shift in your thinking, that belief, it gives you the energy to actually do the work.
It's like the fuel. Right.
Totally. He talks a lot about overcoming fear too, like it's this huge roadblock.
He seems to think you just got to power through it.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference between like healthy fear and the kind that holds you back.
Right. Like, sometimes it's a warning sign.
Exactly. Fear is supposed to keep us safe,
Right.
right? But a lot of times what's holding us back, it's not a saber-toothed tiger. It's the fear of failing or looking stupid or whatever.
Which makes me think about our listener. Maybe they're full of ideas, tons of ambition, but something's stopping them. What would you tell them based on what we've been talking about?
I'd say, look at the fear. What's it really about? Is there a real danger, or is it that voice in your head, the one that says you're not good enough?
Because honestly, what do we regret more? The risks we take or the ones we don't?
Exactly. It's like that line from the video. Think big, you'll at least be comfortable.
Right. Love that one.
It's funny, but it's true. Even if you don't hit the bullseye every time, aiming high is always going to get you further.
So much better than playing it safe.
Way better.
He's also big on the whole environment thing, who you surround yourself with. He really hammered that home.
Yeah, he did. And he's right. It matters. We talked about that, how other people's energy rubs off on us. But he also knows not everyone can just drop everything and find a whole new crew.
Yeah, life's not always that simple.
Exactly. It's about taking control of what you can control. Even small things that make your environment a little better.
Like little tweaks.
Yeah. The information you take in, who you hang out with, even just your surroundings, it all adds up. And you're clearly all about learning new ideas. You probably do this stuff already.
It's like you're curating your own little world of growth.
That's a great way to put it. You've got your books, podcasts, those online communities you mentioned. It's about feeding your mind the right stuff.
Instead of letting it get bogged down with negativity. Even if you can't control everything on the outside, you can control what you let in.
100%. It's like creating a space in your head and in your life where you can actually grow. He talked about actively looking for those supportive people, finding your tribe, even if it's just one person at a time.
Which is actually pretty encouraging when you think about it. You don't have to wait for the perfect situation. You can start building it now.
Exactly. Take charge. You know, it's interesting. He can be kind of in your face, but he really believes in self-awareness. That, quote, your world is how you are.
Wow. That's a powerful statement.
Isn't it? Like, we're creating our own reality here.
It's like he's saying, look in the mirror. What do you see? Are you shaping your world or is it shaping you?
Right. And that can be kind of scary for some people, you know, really looking at themselves that closely.
But it's also powerful, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Because once you see what's holding you back, those beliefs, those patterns,
Yeah.
you can actually change them. It's not set in stone.
It's like you're not just along for the ride, you're the one driving, which I don't know about you, but that's both exciting and a little terrifying at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It means we're responsible for what we create, right? Our lives, our choices.
Yeah.
But it also means we're not helpless. We have the power to change things. So as we wrap this up, this whole deep dive into, this entrepreneur and his unique take on motivation, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away? Something they can actually use.
That's the action item here.
I'd say find one limiting belief. Just one, the one that's always whispering doubts, holding you back from really going for it.
I like that. It's simple, but powerful.
Right. It doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming thing, even if nothing else clicked. Just finding that one belief, that's huge.
It's like you're shining a light on it.
Exactly. You're bringing it out into the open. Is this really true? Is this belief helping you? Or is it time to let it go?
And once you do that, once you let go of that old story you're telling yourself, imagine what you can create.
Exactly. You open up so much space for new possibilities, for growth. That's where the real magic happens.
So there you have it. We started with these videos, high energy, super motivational, and we ended up somewhere pretty deep, huh?
We did.
Strong foundations, mental models, facing your fears, the people you surround yourself with.
And at the heart of it all, knowing yourself. Really taking a look inward, because that's where real change begins.
That's where you realize you have the power to create an extraordinary life. So what will you choose today? What limiting belief are you ready to let go of? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.